The finding out part is never quite as fun as the effing around part. And unfortunately, a lot of people that voted for Donald Trump on November 5th are starting to come to that realization. It is the old meme, the person who voted for the leopards eating people's faces party saying, I never thought leopards would eat my face. But unfortunately, these people, these independent voters, the swing voters who did end up casting a ballot for Donald Trump, are quickly realizing that, oopsie-doo, maybe we should have done a little research before we voted for the tyrant. And luckily, BuzzFeed decided to put together a list of social media posts about how horrible these people are now realizing the country is about to become because of what they did. Let me read you a couple of these. First one. It happened today. A co-worker, white lesbian with a special needs child, spoke about how she voted for Orange Man because of her beliefs and faith, said she didn't know about his plans with the Department of Education and he's not allowed to take away funding, especially for special needs kids. Well, unfortunately, Vivek Ramaswamy did, of course, confirm over this past weekend that the Department of Education is one of many government agencies that he will be deleting. And yes, the Department of Education is in fact responsible for not just providing funding for low-income schools across the country, they are also responsible for providing funding to public schools for special needs children. If the Department of Education gets eliminated, that federal funding will no longer be available, and instead we will have to rely on state funding. Many states, especially those across the South down here, don't have the money to do that. So yes, that will be cut. Here's another one. My MAGA cousin who voted for Trump's text the family group chat saying, sorry, their grammar there was terrible. But anyway, this is what their MAGA-loving cousin said. After reading the econ lecture notes, I have come to the conclusion that not only will grocery prices will not drop, but the produces and other products will get worse. It's a lot to type and I'm in public, but will expand upon my reasoning later, but expect no longer finding green bananas. Good luck on citrus, especially since limes and lemons are exported. Dessert and pastry prices will skyrocket. So that's from somebody's Trump voting cousin who suddenly realizes, oops, maybe I should have researched what tariffs are and who pays for them before I voted for this guy. I no longer get to have the fruit that I love so much, or the desserts and pastries. Another one. A Latino male voter told CNN that mass deportations won't extend to law-abiding workers, saying, quote, that wouldn't be fair. They need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family-oriented. Well, hate to burst your bubble there, but actually several Trump allies have been explicit in saying that we need to make sure people understand we're not just going after the gang members or the criminals. We're going after these people as a monolith because that is what they said. Those are their exact words. They don't care if you're here legally or if you're here illegally. They don't care if you're a law-abiding family man or if you're out there killing people every day. You're all the same to them. And they have made that abundantly clear in statements to the public media. Another one. MAGA neighbor came over and just a fascinating journey through the mindset. First, he was gloaty about how Trump was going to save the economy, whether I like it or not. Then annoyed that I said tariffs are dumb. Then sad when he learned what they are. Then angry I said I can afford them, whether he could or not. Incredible to watch a guy lose morale in real time on learning that actually the people around him will not suffer more than him, and some might suffer less. Now look, here's the thing. I don't want to say that these people deserve whatever is coming for them, because they kind of don't. But then the other part of me thinks, you kind of do, right? I mean, I'm not saying that to be a jackass. I'm not saying that to sit back and be like, you know what, screw it. Get all the horrible stuff, you deserve it. It's that this information was readily available. I talked about it every day. Everybody else that does this talked about it every single day. News outlets reported on this. Economists were warning us. Scholars were warning us. Scientists were warning us. The information was readily available. We were basically spoon-feeding it to you daily. Not because we hate Trump, but because we understood what was at stake. We weren't doing that just to make him look bad. We were doing it so that you could make an educated and informed decision when you went to cast your ballot. So that part of me that did the work, that did the research, that sat here and did the math for you, that part of me says, screw you. You chose this. You made the conscious decision to not seek out additional information until after the election had been called. That is on you. You can't change that. You did this. And the other part of me, the part of me that actually does have compassion, that part of me doesn't want to see these people suffer even though they made poor decisions, right? You don't want them to go through this. You don't want to see these people deported or their loved ones deported. You don't want to see Donald Trump strip them of their naturalization, which, by the way, is also a thing they are talking about doing. So even if you came here legally and you became a citizen, they can strip that from you. And they're looking at ways to do it. Again, I talked about that. I know the media talked about it to a degree. So it's not like this was special information that only I received. It's out there. You can look that up. But there's only so much we can do for these low information voters. And I don't say that as an insult. Obviously, these people did not have all the information. They were, by definition, low information voters. They got the information after the fact. But hey, wouldn't it have been awesome if y'all had done that 2.5 weeks ago? Right? I mean, 3 weeks ago, 6 months ago, anytime prior to November 5th, really would have been fine. But you didn't. And you made the choice not to do it. And now you're freaking out. Rightfully so. Things will get worse. It's not a question of if they will or will they not. It will get worse. If Trump does what he is telling us he's going to do, things in this country will get worse. Prices will go up. Unemployment will go through the roof. We will suffer collectively. Some will suffer more than others. But unless you're in that top 1%, you will not be spared from some form of suffering. Or maybe you are in the 1%, you've got plenty of money, you can weather the storm. Well, great. That money's not going to protect you when your civil rights are on the table too. So eventually the suffering will come for everybody. And that is why I do have sympathy. Because I'll suffer. My wife is an educator. She's already considering, as are many other teachers that I have spoken to, leaving the industry. I mean, they went to school for this. They trained for this. They've done this for years and years and years. They're already talking about leaving because of what's going to happen to the Department of Education. So everybody is going to be hit, just to different levels. But I think at the end of these 4 years, I don't think there's going to be anybody that didn't suffer to some degree from Donald Trump's upcoming term. Thanks for watching today, everybody. And don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.